Mike might remember a couple weeks ago at the Superfecta for the Kentucky Derby. It was pretty awesome. He did it on the show, which we absolutely love. Mike, before we get to the Preakness, what is your way too early best bet for week 1 in the NFL?
Oh, I do like that Panthers-Jaguars game, but I'm going to go to the total. Give me the over in the Panthers-Jaguars game. 45.5 right now. It was 45 at open. Played it last night. Played it again at 45.5 today. This is just 2 over teams for me all year long. The Panthers' offense should be better than it was last year. Their defense still stinks. Jacksonville's defense still stinks. I think both those teams able to put up points in week 1.
That was my favorite bet in the game when we discussed earlier in the show, was the over in this one as well. I like it anywhere. I like it up to 46.5, probably stop playing it at 47. The great Mike Somich is with us. At SomObama18 on Twitter, our friends at VSiN, Racing Dudes. He does an awesome job. He was even on Fox News during Derby Day. He wants to make horse racing great again. He talked about tariffs. He was giving his opinion on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. You know, all sorts of good stuff. And also, by the way, hit the Superfecta for the Derby. Mike, that was pretty awesome, huh? Like, tell us about your I know you hung out with Femi that night. Like, I'm sure the days that followed were probably awesome for you because, like, as your star has risen, your platform has risen, and you gave out the winning Superfecta for the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal experience. I got to hang out with Femi the next morning as well. We were up till the wee hours of Sunday morning celebrating that Superfecta in style. It was an absolute blast. It was great. We were on Mad Dog Sports Radio calling the race there live, and to be able to actually realize I gave out the Superfecta in real time, well on the air when I say Final Gambit's name across fourth was a phenomenal feeling. And then just the amount of love that poured in, right? I think I did 17 hits, something like that, over the week prior to the Derby and had sovereignty in every one. Gave out the Super on X, gave out the Super on this show. It was just all over the place. And so the stories that started rolling in from people who had never bet horse racing, who decided to get involved because they heard me do a hit here or there and got this money down. And all of a sudden, like, hey, this horse racing thing's awesome. I got to get into it. I got to check it out. It just makes me feel really good because I love the sport. I love horse racing. I love it 365 days a week, not just that one Saturday or the Triple Crown race days. So anytime we can have positivity inside horse racing, I am all for it, Nick.
So, no pressure, buddy. Because it's not like everyone that bet your Super for the Kentucky Derby is going to bet your one for the Preakness here. So no pressure here, my friend. Whenever we have you on to talk about the Triple Crown races, any horse race, right? I love, you have a beautiful mind when it comes to this stuff. Like the conceptualization of a race, how it's going to play out based on starting positions, etc., can really inform us. Even if someone out there listening like disagrees with the horse you like to win, I always love listening to like your thought process of how the race itself is going to go. So give us your conceptualization, how the race is going to go, and who ultimately wins, and then we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good. So we talked a lot about the pace in the Kentucky Derby. We saw inside and outside speed, expecting a fast pace. That's what we got. That's what's set up for sovereignty. You've turned the page here 2 weeks later to Pimlico Racetrack for the Preakness, and we have speed on the inside and the outside again. But we only have 2 horses that want to be forwardly placed, which means we could see a little bit slower of a pace than what we did see in the Derby. You've got the 1-horse goal-oriented for Bob Baffert coming back on 2 weeks rest. He was on the Derby undercard. He is going to definitely send from that one post. And then the 8-horse as well for Steve Asmussen. Clever again is going to want to go from that spot. If the 2 of them hook up, this is going to be a very fast pace. If they don't, you have horses like the 3 American Promise, the 6 River Thames, as well as the 9 Gosker, who all do possess early speed and could kind of push the pace forward. So I think we get a pretty hot pace heading into the first turn. And that sets up for horses that are either going to be stalking or sitting off the pace. The one caveat to that is I do think Clever, again, good enough to stick around in your tries and your supers, even if he is on that early pace duel, because I think he is the best of the speed. And this is a race that Steve Asmussen has been pointing toward for about a month and a half now. So I do think we see a pretty quick pace. I think it sets up extremely well for journalism. My big question for him is he going to fire coming back in 2 weeks? We saw him run 3 races in 7 weeks as a 2-year-old. He was able to handle that. I don't think it's a big issue. And Mike McCarthy didn't have any pressure to be in this race, right? The Belmont is waiting for him at Saratoga at 1.25 miles. No issues for the horse to come back in 5 weeks if that was the spot. The fact that they decided to put him back here in the Preakness, I think, is a positive sign for journalism. And if he runs back to his Derby, his Santa Anita Derby, his San Felipe, any of those races beat this field. So I'm going to unfortunately take the favorite on top. Not as sexy. It's taking a 7-1, 8-1 shot, 8-5 on the morning line. I think journalism wins the race and gets a very nice setup in doing so.
Who's in your Superfecta if journalism is going to be keying at that top?
Well, first off, Femi, if BetMGM has journalism at plus 160, run. Do not walk to your cell phone and get that plus 160 in your account right now on the fixed odds market. The best I was able to find was 110 earlier today. He is not going to go off at 8-5. He is going to go off somewhere between even money and 6-5 in this race. So 160, a great price on journalism if you can get him in the fixed odds market. Because we're putting journalism on top, we have to construct this trifecta a little differently to make sure we're guaranteed to make money. So 2 weeks ago in the Derby, we played a trifecta with 2 horses over 3, over 5, over 5. That means we spread out a lot. We can't do that here if we want to make some cash. So we're going to play a $5 superfecta. So we're pressing the denomination. Hopefully that helps it pay more. So we're going to play the 2-horse journalism with the 4-horse Heart of Honor, with the 6-horse River Thames, with the 8-horse Clever Again. So 2 with 4, 6, 8, with 4, 6, 8, with 4, 6, 8. That way the 2 has to win the race, journalism, and then the 4, 6, or 8 have to run second, third, or fourth. For a $5 superfecta, that'll cost you $30 and probably pay right around what we got back in the Derby as well.
You bet here on this Thursday. Mike Somich with us, giving us bets for the Preakness on Twitter at SomObama18. Anything else betting-wise, Mike? We can talk the Black-Eyed Susan, any other races that you like this weekend, but anything else for the Preakness itself that you like for our listeners and viewers?
I am going to have, so if we get 8-5 on journalism, it's a win bet for me. I think the fair odds, again, are closer to even money. So if we do end up at that 8-5 number, I love that as a win bet. You're getting quite a bit of value there. I think River Thames is the second best horse in this race. He's the 6th horse. He is the most proven. He's from the Florida circuit, which we have seen do very well in the Triple Crown, in the Kentucky Derby, but also in the races where they have spread out. We saw Burnham Square win at Keeneland. We had another winner from the Florida Derby yesterday at Horseshoe, Indiana. So we've seen a lot of horses do well out of that Florida circuit. So I will be playing a very big 2 with 6 cold exacta. So 2 has to win. The 6 River Thames has to run second. And then I'm going to play a trifecta 2 with 6 with just the 4 horse who's coming in from overseas, who I think is the closer that is going to be a price and really juice it up. So I'll have some cold bets for larger denominations there in the Preakness as well. And I do like a Black-Eyed Susan Preakness daily double too. Since I like the favorite in the Preakness, I want to try to find some value in the Black-Eyed Susan. I think both favorites are incredibly vulnerable. You've got a Brad Cox horse who's 3-1 on the morning line, who has only faced Louisiana-bred horses and now running in an open company graded stakes race. That's a big ask. I like the 7-horse Reply, who's 8-1 on the morning line. It's a step up in class, but this horse should love the added distance. If it does rain, the horse will love the softer or the muddy track as well. And then I like the 8, a Meth, 2, 4-1 on the morning line. So I'll play 7, 8 with 2 in the Black-Eyed Susan daily double.